Chat, today's YouTube video on the More Swag channel. I'm with my boy Jay Smoothie. We are taking a trip down memory lane, folks. It's going to be, what was the best state of Warzone?
Oh,
Let's
easy.
check it out.
We all know the real answer. You know the answer, right?
We'll have to see.
Okay, I'll let the video play.
Over 5 different
this?
games.
Yeah,
With those games come new metas, maps, and a lot of
Is that the
change.
poly?
Some were definitely better than
The
others.
backpack? Oh, my god. You can hold 3 guns?
I know it's kind of cheap, but I'm going to try and keep things objective as possible through the lens of the community. But I still have my opinions as well.
You know, I met this guy in person. He came to me at Champs.
That guy?
Yeah, he's funny.
Good Warzone, I think it comes down to how fun and playable the game is. Whether it be the gameplay changes made, good and balanced metas, memorable Easter eggs, and sheer amount of content and support for
That
the
was
game.
so fun. The zombies. Oh, the Halloween. Wow.
That's got to be the favorite.
I like this video already. Keep making videos. I like this video already.
It may have been one of the most despised Call of Duties, but was surprisingly polarizing when it came to Warzone. Myself wasn't the biggest fan. Please just hear me out on this. I'm not asking you to agree with me, but this state of Warzone was far from perfect for a lot of reasons. Start with the launch, where we got Caldera. This is probably dead last when it comes to Warzone maps for most people.
That's what I said.
Bad map, we were forced to play it, which eventually would blossom into the absolute trash can playlist that we have today. Also, the introduction of planes, which was an
Oh my god.
Yeah, this was ass.
People have like 60 kills with the planes.
Into the Vanguard era, it was clear to see that all Vanguard guns were leaps and bounds better than any Cold War gun, especially since they all supported 10 attachments. This is where I had my main problem with the Vanguard era was its metas. Every single gun during this time was a low recoil, high damage beam. On top of this, leveling up Vanguard guns took forever, especially if you didn't have the base
like 65 levels.
65?
It was like 50 or 60, I remember.
Just torture. Anyways, I know a lot of people's favorite metas were during this time, but I simply could not get behind them. You want to sit here and tell me that the Cooper Carbine, PPSH, STG, Bren, and every gun caught in the Vanguard Wall of Death were balanced?
I love the SMGs.
I think the SMGs were crazy.
Yeah, the SMGs were really good.
I think they were good.
Implementations that would ruin the game. For starters, the infamous sniper nerf. This change was kind of
that was bad.
Targeted the quickscope meta that was just the Swiss K3 and Kar 98. All it did was give those snipers a one-shot range. Before they would one-shot at any range, but now they would have to be within, I think, like 25 or 30 meters, meaning you really could only use these guns as quickscope machines.
I've never seen that.
Sort of incentivize using guns like the HDR and AX50 since they would still.
Ooh, good snipe. Damn.
Crazy snipe. What the hell?
Meanwhile, guns like the Tctekk and M82 still couldn't, and those were very slow and
They're horrible.
Yeah,
snipers were so bad. Yeah, the explosive sniper.
Stupid.
However, Fortune's Keep is without a doubt a highlight in the whole Vanguard Warzone era. I know a lot of people still prefer Rebirth, like I do too, but Fortune's Keep definitely holds its own when it comes to the Resurgence maps. I know for a lot of people, this was a lot of people were having when it came to Warzone. It's arguably when Rebirth was at its absolute peak.
Yeah,
and I'm not
Rebirth
saying
went
I didn't
crazy.
have fun during this state, but for me, it personally just didn't hit as hard as the other ones.
Was Rebirth peak during Vanguard?
It was like Caldera, because Caldera was so bad, so everybody swarmed there.
At my doorstep as I put Warzone 2 over Vanguard Warzone, but once again, just hear me out. This was without a doubt the worst engine that Warzone had ever been played on.
100%.
The map isn't bad though.
Our mods were not bad.
And AI around every corner, it was just bad. I even made an entire video breaking down Warzone 2's build. But there are some things that made it redeemable. Start with the maps, which I think
the maps were good. Ashika was fun for 5 minutes. I hated it after that.
Appreciated and somewhat hated on, and I think that's only because it exists on Warzone 2. I bet if you threw this on the rotation with Warzone 3, people would enjoy it. Ashika was controversial and hated on, but I find this to be another great map.
Nah, I think it's not.
I don't know. I didn't really like Ashika.
I think Ashika's the worst Rebirth map or Resurgence map.
Then there's Vondel, which is next.
Vondel was
fire. That was fire.
Me personally, it's actually my least favorite of the 3 Warzone maps on.
Well, it's second.
Really good. Anyways, maps aside, let's talk about the big changes going on here, and they're really big. Main one was no one-shot snipers whatsoever.
Yeah, that was ass.
Sniper nerf and raised it to
Dude, that's 5 kills right there.
That's so dumb.
That's a whole squad right there.
The worst decision in all of Warzone. Taking a core fundamental aspect to not only COD, but any FPS at that, and just throw it down the drain. They would try and undo this mess by eventually allowing some snipers to one-shot, but only with the explosive ammo.
That's so stupid.
To the ground, making them impossible to use. Anyways, another change was the looting
backpack.
Complete overhaul. At launch, you know,
The backpacks were terrible. Well, I remember having AR, SMG, and a sniper in a backpack. I remember having all 3 of my guns.
They should never have that.
System is rumored to go away once Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
Makes me sad. Love being able to bestow extra kill streaks, munitions boxes, armor.
Hell no.
I don't.
Feel way more like a battle.
Especially in competitive.
What's happening in the
It's ass,
future,
bro.
this is one of the
4
best
bunkers.
things. The visual recoil is still being worked on to make the Warzone 2 guns viable in Warzone 3, with still little to no progress in that regard, which is all the evidence you really need to understand how bad it was. And the movement was such a talking point that all I have to say is no slide canceling, no reload canceling, stims don't do anything, and for a minute there you couldn't even sprint while plating up. Through all this strategy, there's one more highlight in Warzone 2. That's the metas. I don't think I've seen such good metas in a 1-year spawn of Warzone as I have.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Kick things off with
Metas
the
were
RPK,
good.
which is one of the easiest guns to use and felt really good all around.
I hated the RPK.
There's only one gun to use about the meta, so that's what got ass.
High reward gun that you had to control recoil. The Hemlock AR, which I think is one
I
of
like the Hemlock.
best
I
and
did
most
too.
fun ARs in all of Warzone.
I like that.
think there's a lot of people who would agree with that. Cronin Squall was potentially one of the most
It was
fun.
tools we have ever
It was
seen
fun.
as well. And you have the Lockman 5.56, which some people were
Mid.
comparing to the launch graph.
That shit was
With
mid.
horrible gunplay, the metas actually made it a little bit more enjoyable.
Warzone 2, you had to have a gunny.
Warzone 3, that's fine.
Warzone
Yep.
3 or Warzone 2.5, MW3.
Dude, the
Warzone,
MTZ was so
insane.
I really
crazy.
couldn't tell you what the overall consensus from the community is, but I have been having a lot of fun with Warzone during this state. There are moments where it actually
Chat, what would you rate this current Warzone on a scale of 1 to 10? Everybody answer.
feels like the
Where we're at now, or like how it's been the whole time?
Warzone 3 in general.
The last 2 years.
7.5.
Once was gunplay is much better, and we've even gotten small quality of life changes like the removal of overkill. These changes does not bring all sunny skies and rainbows, however. Starters throughout the entire year.
I think these metas are better than Warzone 3.
Now, Urzikstan isn't a bad map by any means, but it definitely is not the best.
Sevens.
Sevens. But they could at least throw it into the rotation since they clearly haven't been working on any new maps for us to play.
This is why I really wanted a TKR. I wanted to really TKR in this game, though.
And we did get Rebirth back after a year and a half, so that obviously was a huge win and something that the community desperately wanted. Things like the Car 98 making a return are other signs that deep down inside, Raven does have a heart. There have been a handful of concepts like ranked resurgence, which I personally think works better than ranked battle royale. It's given people more gratification to grind Warzone, whereas
Ranked battle royale or resurgence?
Resurgence. I like Resurgence ranked. More entertaining to watch.
Snake shots, DG
Personally.
Ah, the snake shots. Ah.
Or fixing them, just remove them from the game entirely. Sniping has now evolved from no one-shots to this middle ground where the fast snipers can still one-shot at further ranges while being outgunned by slower and harder to use snipers with infinite range. Apparently Warzone 2 snipers are about to start one-shotting without explosive ammo as well, and I'm really excited to see what that does to sniping. It obviously is trying to undo the
I wonder when
damage.
they're doing that. I don't know when they're doing that. 12 minutes?
But it has done a great job at that.
How
and seems
old
to be
am I?
getting better
Old?
for each
Yeah, 'cause it
season.
said,
It
like-
also still has its other downsides.
yeah.
Whoa!
Being that we have
Yo.
a terrible cheating
Yo.
problem that has only gotten worse.
It
Especially
has.
with MW3 coming to Game Pass, any ranked game is like a coin flip as if you're
That must be the aim bone.
obviously ruins the game forever.
I do like that camera angle, though. I'm not gonna cap. But
That's the FOV. It's because he has an 800 FOV, son.
Competitive. We've had nothing but LMG.
I haven't really ran into a hacker, though.
Same, just a different.
And ranked probably.
We've only had the Ram 7 until most recently when we got the STG. We saw one of the most broken guns in all of Warzone.
MTZ was broken.
That interceptor was
It was
nasty.
insane.
We'll say the HRM9 was one of the most fun and balanced.
100%. One of the best of all time.
Way too long and also ran its course on the community.
Nah, I think that was fine.
Loaded debacle where people straight up just couldn't load it in the game.
I remember that.
Those that did couldn't use their perks or even.
Remember the day my shit was flickering? It was on the update day.
Worst update in Warzone
I like the
history.
swarm meta, no to be honest.
I got tired
The
of that.
swarm meta was fun.
With some improvement in diversity in the meta, the Black Ops 6 integration is looking really nice.
Yeah, I will say Warzone 3 has had the worst update days because it's been
Yeah.
horrible.
I want to lead with the fact that for the entirety of Cold War era, Rebirth Island and Verdansk were always playable. Just think about that for a minute. Anyways, I could write a book as to why Rebirth and Verdansk are the two best maps in all of Warzone, but that would be beating a dead horse. I mean, it's pretty evident with Warzone 3 that when Rebirth was brought back, it was one of the greatest updates of all time.
Yeah.
Verdansk also got its 1984 reskin, which many people like more than the traditional map.
Which Verdansk would you rather have, the 84 or the traditional one?
Probably the
I want the traditional. I want the full on day one. I want day one.
and even close range engagements were completely
Oh.
Cold War Zone, but pretty much
Dude, the
every meta
DMR was
DMR was
insane.
really enjoyed. And this had the FFAR.
FVR is probably the best secondary of all time. One of them.
The Cold War integration was that the Modern Warfare guns were still usable and were actually still getting updates to that game, which meant more guns to come. But a
Yep.
lot of you didn't know that the Psychov was added to Modern Warfare 2019 months after Cold War launch,
Yep.
which is something that we haven't seen since. Then guns like the AMAX were a meta contender for the
Yep.
entire entirety of Cold War, despite being a Modern Warfare 19 gun. Compare that to today, where if you load up in Warzone with just about any MW2 gun, you're going to get a massive disadvantage.
Damn.
We had legendary events like the 80s action hero.
Yeah, see.
You could get massive POIs added to the game.
I think this is the best era of Warzone.
I think Cold War is the best era of Warzone ever. I keep saying it.
We're still playing on the exact same engine.
XM4 was the metas were incredible.
I'm telling you,
The updates, the events, this was the best Warzone.
I agree.
This was peak to me. I'm flipping both. I'm flipping these two.
Is this really that surprising? Just before
I'm flipping those two.
Pandemic, we were given one of the greatest things to use with this newfound free time, that being Warzone. Launch Warzone quickly became a worldwide phenomenon that was everybody's go-to game for the majority of the pandemic. The new battle royale inside the franchise, there was a lot of hype surrounding it, and it delivered. New concept being a 1v1 gulag to get back in the fight.
Loved it.
Yeah. This is the best gulag.
Yeah, for sure. Showers, hell yeah.
War to come along, and people were okay with that. With 150 players to keep the pace.
I think pacing was so 150 was
more, but I think that helped out Verdansk big time. On top of this, we had some fan favorite metas: the Grau, the Kilo, the Bruin, the M13, the MP5, the Car 98.
That MP5 was diff.
Yeah, that's the best.
We also had a lot of brokenness going on. Snake shots being the first of 3 separate iterations.
I feel like you found that
for sure.
This FAMAS underbarrel shotgun that might have
you found that one too.
Scope meta, making sniping easier.
And then Booya found the DMR.
That Booya found DMR.
The entire map while maintaining its damage. These massive bugs, exploits, mistakes.
Bro, we used to do thermal snipers, bro, with no smoke.
Experience and was hitting that Modern Warfare 2 2009 brokenness, which gave that game some charm. On top of this was the most content we've ever gotten.
That's a good point. Like the broken shit kind of reminds you of like MW2.
Yeah.
There was always a new Easter egg to complete that always gave you something to do.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit right here.
Hidden Subway was another in-depth Easter egg that I couldn't even imagine being in Warzone.
I remember that doing.
Which had become a mainstay.
Zombie was so fire.
Way more limited time and experimental modes that always gave us something new. Maybe it's nostalgia, but and I'm sure a lot of you will agree that launch Warzone was like catching lightning in a bottle that continued into Cold War for a little bit, but then has been lost since. Hopefully Black Ops 6 can continue to undo the damage of Vanguard and Cold War, but I guess we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Once again, this is and I tried to keep things objective through the community's eyes, but I would love to know what your all's favorite state of Warzone was, so go ahead and drop your ranking down below.
It's a good video. That's a really good video.
Good video.